Hello.
Hi.
Hey,
Yes.
everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. Yes. Welcome to another episode of
Evil.
yes. We back in the
Hallelujah.
building. Back in the building. I
Yes,
am
we
one
are.
half of your co-host, Evil.
Yes, and I'm the other half, Lady Evil. Welcome back to our show. How are you feeling?
You know what? I'm here. I'm getting it through, was knocked down a little bit, had a little cold, had a little dental shenanigans going on for a couple weeks, but we're back and better than ever.
Yes, we are. And you know what? I am still riding high from BlurCon. Me and
Yes.
my do-rag is here. This is from BlurCon.
Yes.
I had to
Yes.
represent.
Yes.
So a couple of weeks we did BlurCon and it was so much fun. It was our first panel and we did an interactive horror story with the audience. We didn't use a projector or anything like that. We were just on go. So how do you feel about BlurCon?
You know what? BlurCon, it was so much fun, getting to interact with the people and, just meeting up with our friends again, from the horror
Yes.
community and, just meeting more people, but getting to be on stage, for the first time in general and being up there with you. Like that's what
Oh,
made it even more special, and you fucking killed it.
oh, you killed it too.
Listen,
You killed
this
it too.
lady it's this lady killed it. I'm telling you, like I had a thought in my brain and she was like, let me add some sprinkles to it. And next thing you know, it became, something bigger, much bigger and much better. And that shit was improv.
It was 100% improv. It was a lot of synergy in that room. And let me tell y'all something. When we thought we were going to get a small room. That's what I was banking on. I thought it was going to just be our friends. I thought it was just going to be Rise from the Dead. Shout out to Rise from the Dead podcast. I thought it was just going to be people under the scares and Zero and Sheree and Girl That's Scary, Jazz and Cat. Shout out to y'all. And Mark from Midnight Social Distortion. We thought it was just going to be them and a couple of people. We got to our room. They gave us the Roosevelt room. And I was like, where's all these people? What are they doing here? And Tyrone goes, they're here for us. And I said, no, they're not. First of all, the room was like 3 times the size I thought it was going to be. And we had people lined up outside the door. And we couldn't even start on time because a guy was holding the door open and he said, wait, there's people on the elevator waiting to come off so they could come in this room. So it literally looked like a college room. It was full of people and I could not believe it. I was shook. And Evil Tyrone was sitting down. And I was like, I'm like DMX. We got to stand up. We got to stand up. We gotta give the energy. We have Friday night at 10:30, and we killed it. He rocked it. His idea was gold. You hear me? Like he was the visionary of the interactive horror story. We were in a car trying to work it out, and we did that. We did that.
Yeah, we killed it. We're gonna be back next year, doing our thing. And
Yes.
also just getting our feet wet out there with more presentations, under
Yeah,
the evil name.
we're gonna keep that a
Yeah.
secret. But next year's theme is thriller at BlurCon. So I guess
Yes.
all the horror panels did so well that they want the entire thing to be themed thriller. So we're going to throw our hat in the ring, and we will be back next year.
Oh yes, in the cold weather. In the cold weather. Let's get it. You know.
Yes. Did you want to look
Now,
at the?
now we got some comments, some
Yes.
people in the
Let's
comments. We
say
got
hi.
Mike
Hey, Mike.
Unofficial.
What's
What's going
up?
on? Yes. We tried to post a little
Aw.
something.
Thank you, Mike.
Post a little something. Thank you for the love, Mike.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Y'all
Oh,
just like
Paul.
date or something. Well, I've asked her out on a date. She's like the guy in the creep show shirt. I don't know. I don't know. Paul draws. Hey,
What's up, Paul
thanks for
Draws?
stopping by. Yes, yes.
Missed you too.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it's been you know, this we have fun, you know, talking to the community and things like that, you know. So we definitely gonna get into it. You know, we got Wilkie, you know,
Hey, Wookie,
thank
what's
you for
up?
stopping by, showing some love. Thank you, you know. And we got our guests of honor in the building, you know,
Yes, we
the real
do.
queen of horror, you know.
Lovely as can be. And before we introduce her, we're going to briefly introduce what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the cult classic 1997 film Wishmaster.
Yes.
Now, just a little bit of fact. This film was directed by Robert Kurtzman. And before he did Wishmaster, he was the writer and editor of another horror classic, From Dusk Till Dawn, 1996. Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. The director was a Renaissance man. He can do a little bit of everything when it comes to film. Um, Also in Wishmaster, there was a scene where there was chaos. He was the piano wire guy, and he went uncredited for some reason.
Oh my.
So he was the guy in that scene with the piano wires. And also after this film, he went on to do other projects. He also was the head co-department of special effects and makeup for a series that all of you love, The Haunting of Hill House, directed by Mike
Yes.
Flanagan. So tonight we're going to get into Wishmaster with our special guest and our friend. We love her.
Yes, yes. Introduction, Zena, the real queen of horror, you
That's
know,
right.
just an amazing person. You know, was one of the first interviews
Hmm.
that you know was under the evil brand, you know. So forever we'll be grateful, you know, for that, and just all that she does for the horror community. You know, she's into
Hmm.
filmmaking, you know, directing, writing behind the scenes, you
Yep,
know.
she's a Renaissance woman as well.
Listen, listen,
Okay.
doing it up, you know. And you can
Yes.
catch her on the Bloody Disgusting, you know, network as well, you know,
Yeah.
doing her thing, you know. But let's delay this no further. Let's delay this no further. Our
Yes.
guest of honor tonight, you know, Queen Zena, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi. Oh my gosh, that intro, you made me feel so shy. Thank you both for the invite.
Yes.
No problem.
Listen, this is what we do it for, you know, just interacting with the community and you know, having fun and you know, just chopping it up with the people that we love and you know, who love the genre, you know. So
For sure, for sure. You guys are definitely doing it.
yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Thank you.
We
Thank
we
you.
try.
Listen.
We definitely try.
Listen. And it's storming right now. So if we cut out, you know, just know that Mother Nature is hating on the
Same,
low. Yeah.
same. Like it's just been such a weird day for me. I tweeted earlier how somebody was driving around my neighborhood blasting Jennifer Lopez's Waiting for Tonight. I was so scared I left my house. I mean, they were driving around for an hour blasting it. So it's just been one of those days. So hopefully things are okay now, guys. I don't know. I don't know
Listen.
Why
who.
that song?
It just reminds me, like I had told you, it reminds me of a creepy pasta story
It
where you
does.
know somebody's blasting that, but it's really a warning, you know.
But
It's really a
see,
warning.
that's why
Oh,
I left. But I had
waiting
to
for
come back home.
tonight.
Like, oh
That's
my
a crazy
gosh,
warning if it is. Waiting for the night. What's the
Yes.
night?
Listen,
right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Me neither.
But but yes, we're going to get into it tonight. You know,
Yes.
we got a couple more people
That
in
we
the
want to say hi to
podcast, you know.
Nightmare on Fifth
Yes.
Street.
Yes, Sheree and
Hello.
Trent in the
Hey
building.
Trent and
Thank
Sheree, how
thank
you
y'all.
doing?
Whoever behind the keyboard, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. You know, Barbara Reed, you know, thank you for
Hi,
stopping
Barbara.
by. Thank you for stopping
Barbara
by.
Reed is my mom. So my parents are watching.
Hi,
Yes.
I love they watch. Look at them watching.
Mama. Welcome to our show.
Yes, yes. Love, love. Also got in love with horror.
In love
Power
with
couple.
horror. Yes, we love y'all.
Yes, yes, we love all the love, you know, sharing the love tonight, you know. We got a Mike. He says, "Waiting for tonight," being blasted over and over. uh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Now we're gonna start it off.
All right. So I do actually want to start this off with a question. I have a
Ooh.
question for you both, but I'm going to ask you first, Zena.
Okay.
So, what was your first introduction to jinns and or genies?
I think it was I want to say something magical and whimsical at first, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it was, you know. I mean, I guess okay, I'll just say maybe it might have been Aladdin. I mean, so I
Mm-hmm.
think it was Aladdin, and I think right after that it was this one. But obviously, like this one, like really stuck with me because
Okay.
this was I think the first time that I saw like an actual really evil genie.
Me too.
Yeah.
Mm.
And what about you?
You know what? I did not know genies were evil until, or that genies could be evil until like 2015. I was listening to a podcast, and I got introduced to the jinn. That way, I was like, wait a minute, this sounds like Aladdin.
Mhm.
But it's like completely not Aladdin at all. So when you go down that podcast rabbit hole of the dark side of that lore, it gets very, very sinister. So I started to have like a deep fear because you see like Aladdin, or you see like was that Tales from the Dark Side, or
Mm-hmm.
the Twilight Zone, stuff like that. Like it's all playful and fun, but I yeah, the gin is one of the things that gives me nightmares.
Wow. Well, my first introduction is the same as Zena, was Aladdin for a genie.
Mhm.
However, the first time I heard the word jinn was Kazam.
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
so it was one of those movies that was ran back in my house over and over again. So I remember when he said that he can't bring somebody back from the dead. Only a jinn can do that. Jinn
Mhm.
is freedom. Jinn can do anything. And he made it sound like jinn was like another god or a demigod.
Right.
So I was under the impression from Aladdin and from Kazam that being a genie or a jinn was a good thing. And it kind of
Yeah.
made me, even though I don't want to be locked up in a jewel or a lamp, it made me feel like, oh, I want to be a genie. Like if I could use my powers in Aladdin, he was able to use his powers no matter what. He was changing into different characters, doing impressions. He was funny.
Yeah.
But in this movie, he can only use his powers if someone wishes for it.
Yes, yes. I mean, I think at some point we all wanted to be genies. Christina Aguilera. I'm a genie. So I think we all wanted to be genies. At one point, but it's very, it can be very sad. I guess depending on who's telling the story.
Mhm.
Like it can be a sad story, it can be a fun story, it can be a creepy story. But this was a creepy story. Told by creepy folks. Creepy thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, why do both of you why do you think they turned, I guess, the genie or the jinn into something magical or whimsical? Why do you think they did that?
I thought because it was actually from a darker place, and they kind of, I don't remember for sure, but don't they kind of touch on it in the movie? Or maybe that was something else I was watching that was kind of similar because I had a back to back marathon with some supernatural stuff. But I think that was more on fairies because someone had asked that in a movie that I was watching, and I feel like that's the same thing where, yeah, they're like usually whimsical and happy. And I just kind of wonder if it really is, again, like from like a darker spot, because even when I think about like old reruns of like I Dream of Jeannie as an example, because I think
Hmm.
as a kid, I used to watch that sometimes because it would just pop up on TV. It seemed like, she seemed happy, but for the most part, they're stuck in like this little bottle. So it just seems like, why not rebel at this point. You should kind of be evil just a little bit. I would. Don't tell anybody though.
I think this. So I mean, I guess it depends on what type of person you are and what your motivations are. Because we seen what happened with Jafar. And
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Mike had brought up Jafar. So y'all just ignored the evil genie Jafar. Jafar is a legend in his own right. He did what he had to do.
He was very interesting to me because he was a sorcerer.
Yes.
And he wanted to be a genie. He thought, like he thought turning himself into a genie that he was also going to get Jasmine Creek, and he was also going to like take over the castle. And I'm like, as a genie,
Yeah.
Robin Williams, my bad. The genie constantly talked about being locked up and how he always wished for himself to be set free. And anytime he was somebody else's, genie, they never used their third wish on setting him free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was deep. It was deep upon later watches, especially after what happened with Robin Williams.
Oh yeah.
It was deep.
But with this Jin in Wishmaster, this is not the type of Jin you want to set free at all. You get 3 wishes, and the third wish, it is said that he's going to release legions onto the earth. I feel like that already happened, but that's just me though. But yeah, that's what usually happens when you make the third wish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get a little bit into the story of Wishmaster. And at the beginning, we do see a scene. It's 1127, and an emperor, he is the master of the Jinn, and everyone is running around and everyone is screaming. It's chaos. People are getting killed and sliced and diced, and the emperor is like, oh, this is my fault. Like, this Jinn did this. Like, who knew that if you make a wish that this Jinn is going to use it against you, and he's going to end up mutilating people and killing people. And my first thought was Bedazzle, even though jinns are not the devil, but it made me think of Bedazzle a little bit. Like with Brendan Fraser, every time he was like, oh, I want this, she would turn it into something crazy or dark or funny, and he would get the girl, but not in the way that he wanted the girl. He kept trying to play with real time and all of that just to get a girl.
Yes. I mean, I think in that sense, they were trying to turn like the devil and give the devil elements of a jinn, and just have fun with it. I loved Bedazzled. I can't say enough about Bedazzled. But what did you think about that opening scene, Zena?
I love that opening scene. I did like just like the chaoticness of it all. There was like a snake person crawling on the floor, which I wanted to see more of that for some reason. And it always just reminded me of like the monkey paw's tale, where it's just, it doesn't, well, clearly it does, spoiler, the dreams do come true in a way, but like there's a way around it. But immediately when you're thinking, if someone asks you like, hey, what do you wish for? And the emperor's like point of view as an example, he was panicking. So he's immediately just thinking, okay, how can I help my people? Then you have the jinn in his ear saying how, oh, well, wish it away, just so he could be free. So yeah, it's a chaotic, bloody, wonderful scene. It makes me very happy.
Yes. I think that's what sold me into the movie, because I'll be honest, I was late to the party. This lady evil over here introduced me to this film. I knew about it, but it was on the No channel back in the day when we had like the black boxes, and then they had the late night channels.
Don't tell our age.
But they would show movies all day, and that would be one of the movies that they would show. They would show like Wishmaster and Blade and stuff like that. And I just remember being like, "Oh, this looks cool." But for whatever reason, I never watched it. Then you were like, "You got to check this out," and I was automatically enthralled. I was automatically hooked. the prosthetics in this movie,
Mhm.
you know, just everything about it. It just the way that it was shot is it's something like fun,
Mhm.
campy, and sexy about, you know, that era of
Mhm.
filmmaking. You know.
And you know what, Zena? I was waiting for I like to watch his facial reactions. I'm weird like that. But I was waiting for his facial expressions when the cameos came in.
Yes. Everybody's in this movie.
Listen, I was so shocked. You know, I even wrote a little list. Freddie, we had Freddie, we had Jason, we had Candyman. You know, I just found out today that the dude from Phantasm was the
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
Grim.
You got
Yes,
them all.
legend.
damn,
This movie was so lit.
Mhm.
crazy. That Ted Raimi, all
Mhm.
everybody. It was just like a horror. You know,
Convention.
just a reunion, horror reunion. You know.
I love
Horror
your singing.
Oh, listen. This is not so sunny and Cher. You know, like we singing all day. We singing all day. You
Oh,
know, it's just
you guys are so cute.
yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, but yes, it was that immediately hooked me in, you know, to the film. I was gripped, and then to see the Jin, you know, and
Mhm.
to see his character revealed, and like what did you think, of his character, you know, throughout the film? Like, how did you think the actor did in Jin form?
Oh yeah, he did it. He did his thing. I feel like this was a great casting choice.
Mhm.
I feel like his voice was great. Usually, when we see horror characters, sometimes they allow them to be silent because their voice is not that great, but they could move in the suit and the
Right.
prosthetics, and you know they're the best person for it. But everything was great. I feel like he didn't do too much. He wasn't too dramatic. He was just the right amount of chilling and menacing.
Yes.
And he didn't move like a human being, even when he was in human form. He still didn't move like a human being. He
Mhm.
moved like he was trying to act like a human
Yeah.
being, and I love that. I love that. That's how you know you're a great actor.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. What about you, Zena? How did you feel
I
about his performance?
I agree 100%. And I also just throw in there, I love how petty his character was like the whole time. And it's just like, you are such a troublemaker. You know, I love it. I can't get enough of it. I loved his voice. And even with his facial expressions, like it was
Yes.
just very like subtle. You know what I mean? I agree again, he did not do too much, you know, especially facially wise. And then even with his voice, like he was believable. But it's just like the amount of people that he ran into and they're just making wishes. If some weird man said, "Oh, I can grant you," I'm running. Okay. Like, I don't see how that's normal. I don't think it sounds normal. But again, like I feel like he's just an awesome like cast member.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with both of your sentiments. Like, I think he did his thing, and he really sold it. Like, there was an air of like just mysteriousness, but also an air of like, don't do dealings with this guy. You know, like, of course
Yeah.
he's, you know, he gets people that are down on their luck and, you know, other stuff like that, but it's like, don't do dealings with this guy, you know. So, and it, which leads me to my next question for you two,
Ooh,
um which is
I'm afraid.
yeah, I'm gonna be nice tonight. I'm gonna be
Okay.
nice tonight.
Okay.
I'm gonna be polite. You know, got the queens in the building tonight, so I'm gonna keep it cute. I'm gonna keep it cute. You know, so who would you cast, you know, for a remake, you know,
Oh
as
my
far
God.
as
Who?
yes, who would you cast as far as a remake for the Jinn, you know?
Oh,
I'm gonna throw mines out there first. I'm gonna
Okay.
just get
okay.
it out
Okay.
there. I'm gonna, just because I think it'd be funny, I'm gonna throw Lakeith out there.
Ooh,
I'm gonna throw Lakeith as the Jinn.
he would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his voice isn't that deep,
Mhm.
but he could do something. He
Mhm.
could do something. What about you, Zena?
I don't know. So I'm sorry. I answered so fast because I was trying to think and it was like, oh, too late. So it just came out. No, I really don't know. I would probably try someone new, but I feel like there has to be something with the actors, like they need to be smooth with the facial expressions, especially in the eyes. I don't mean like
Yes.
crazy eyes, but like they have to, it was just something that he had, you know?
Mhm.
I need more time. I have no idea.
No problem. I could go, and I'm not gonna give a disclaimer. I'm gonna just say it. If so, I have to do two. If it was a man, if it was a woman,
Okay.
if Jen
Okay.
was a woman. So if it was a man, rest in peace to him. But Clarence Williams III.
Oh my God. Yes.
I would have loved to see how he would have portrayed Jen,
Hmm.
especially with his voice and his smile and his performance in Tales from the Hood. I would have wanted him to play the Jen.
Hmm.
Now, if it was a woman, Glenn Close.
Oh,
Ooh.
she's incredible.
Yeah. So that those. Why are you looking at me like
Because I don't want to
that?
like. I feel like just off voice alone, she gonna have me running down the
Yeah.
street.
I feel like Glenn Close would be a great one. Like she would give us a different element, especially if
Mhm.
the Jen was a female character. Especially with her performance in what's my movie? Fatal Attraction, or even Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
She's going to be a little bit comical, but she's going to be as scary as possible. And I think she would be way, way scarier than the guy who played the Jin this time. So that's just me though.
You sold it for me. But
Yeah.
since you picked out a woman,
Okay.
I'm gonna throw a woman in there.
Okay.
And this is gonna,
Gosh.
it's gonna knock them down.
Oh, word. Okay.
We gonna be blockbuster lines wrapped around the corner, cosplays, t-shirts. But it's your one of your idols.
Uh-uh.
Yes,
Uh-uh.
yes,
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. Yes,
I
she
love
would
Angela Bassett as
That's
kill
Angela.
it
cheating.
as
No,
the
you
Jew.
can't. She could play it literally anybody
Her
ever.
Yes.
voice.
That is Yale School of Drama right there.
I just
Yeah.
imagine her in a dark alley, just
Mhm.
laughing with the
Ah.
makeup, like that shit. Mm,
That's a good one.
yeah.
Now, Zena.
The queen of horror.
Okay. Because I was trying to think about who could also do crazy. What hear me out. What about Nicolas Cage? He could be a thing,
Yes.
Mm,
I love them
yeah.
long legs.
And he
I'm
looks
sold.
good and crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be a great
That's
choice.
that's all
Yeah.
I have. Like, I mean, at first it was just like I was trying to think about, okay, who has that high energy that's just kind of always in your face? Matthew McConaughey, but I don't see it. So,
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Grant my wish. All right. All right. All right.
Or maybe we can have somebody who has a soothing voice, so it's not as scary, like
Mm.
Morgan Freeman. Like I would
Woo! That'd be terrifying. Morgan Freeman. He played God and then the Jinn. But let's get into this. Let's get into the comment section, because some people, they put in their hat in the ring for who they would want to play the Jinn, who they would cast.
Oh yeah. We definitely gotta go to the comments. In Love with Horse, that's awesome question. It was probably I Dream of Genie for me, but
Yeah.
Evil Ones, Jin 2014. You know what? There's a lot of Jin movies that, like, especially that came out internationally, that I gotta check out, that are on my list.
Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. We got the villain,
Y'all play all day.
which that's a charade joke. So I definitely that's
Disney was the villain. They're
Yes.
always the villain.
They still are. Paul draws. I seen some evil genie from the cartoon shows, like episode 1 of Teenage Mutant Turtles.
Really?
Wow.
Did I miss that? Because I used to watch that. I missed it.
Yeah, I gotta check that. I think it's on Paramount.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
run it back. In Love with Horror, Disney is.
We
definitely
agree.
killing. Got a Nightmare on Elm Street. I always wanted Jeannie to get a divorce. Burger has been boring.
Oh my gosh.
Robin was the only Jeannie that mattered.
Well,
It
I,
was-
I like Shaquille O'Neal. I did. I like Kazam. I know it wasn't a great film, but I was a kid. I
Yes.
couldn't tell a good film from a bad one.
burgers and French fries and candy
Okay.
raining from the sky. You sold
That
me
was
to life.
that was a good movie, especially as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was emotional.
Yes, yes. Paul says I saw one evil genie in one episode, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, but that genie wasn't too evil, but he wants to get out of the bottle. Okay,
They all
Chippendales,
do.
you know. Yes, Bedazzle, you know, Bedazzle was one. Jazz, thanks for stopping by.
Hey.
Thanks for stopping by. Yes, yes. Anthony says Wishmaster is my whole thing. Yes, we used to rent
Hey,
this at
Anthony.
Blockbuster for the low. Yes,
Yes.
yes. Thank y'all for stopping by. The genie design looked like the concept of a Raimi's Green Goblin. Looks very slimy.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Listen, Raimi, top tier, top tier.
Bobby.
Thanks for stopping by. Yes, the cameos. And yes, happy birthday, Jazz.
Happy
You know,
early
birthday,
early
Jazz.
birthday, you know, in the building. Family, family. Anyone granting wishes has something up their sleeve. Yes, yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a mad chill, but you know, something
But he's just
nefarious.
torturing people.
Mhm.
Do you guys think he could be scary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I saw his performance as L in the live action Death Note,
Yes.
and he was the best part. His performance was the best part of that movie. Overall, it was not a good film. Death Note is my favorite anime of all time so far.
Mhm.
Yes.
So usually live action they don't do that well, but
Right.
I watched it because they had L. Lakeith played L, and I was like, oh, I gotta watch it. He was literally the best part of that movie. So and he was menacing, so I think he can do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to
I
like
think
rewatch
especially
that one.
depending on the makeup.
hmm
Yeah, it was a good time. Like it wasn't what I expected, but it was a good time, you know. Anthony says probably Tom
Ooh.
Cruise, something about his eyes aren't right.
Oh my
Got a little booty
Hey.
bird. Thank you for
Hi.
stopping
Thank you for
by. Thank you
coming.
stopping. I love the name. Scottish geek guy. Thank you
Hey,
for stopping by.
Scottish geek
You know,
guy.
Lakeith would be cool.
Yeah, I
Jim
agree.
Carrey is the Jim.
Woo!
Now-
Bobby, now you cooking.
And
Jim
Yeah.
Carrey.
an older Jim Carrey who's well versed in dramatics.
Ooh,
I see it.
Yes, yes.
he would be scary.
Yes, yes. Scottish guy says I wore out the VHS of Wishmaster back in the day.
Same.
William
Dafoe.
Okay,
That's the
Jazz,
good one.
okay.
Ooh,
Yeah,
he would be
throwing
creepy,
them
creepy,
out
Yes,
there.
creepy.
yes.
That's the good
Winston
one.
Duke would be a hot genie.
Oh my god.
We will all be rubbing that lamp.
Defoe was born to be a genie. Okay,
I
okay.
agree.
Christian Bale, but he wears his roles
Mm.
like skin, so I think he would actually become a gin for research.
He
Facts.
probably would.
Facts.
Mm.
You
All
know.
for the performance. Okay.
Yes, yes. You know, Paul, I go with a culture genie because I like to see their own culture from the
Yeah.
Middle East.
That would be
Okay.
great.
Okay. Yes, Nick Cage as a genie would be lit as fuck. Yes, Nick Cage.
We agree.
You
Yeah.
know. 3,000 Years of Longing is one of my favorite Jin movies. Idris Tilda, amazing.
I gotta see that one.
Okay. ALR Hall, you know, thank you for stopping by.
Hey,
Thank you for
hello.
That's
stopping
my
by.
sister.
Oh, hey, sis.
Stopping
It's a
by.
family affair. It's a family affair.
I love you
Come
guys.
on, slide in the family song. Come on.
All right, Paul draws. I forgot more than was God.
He was Bruce Almighty.
Yes. Let's that we caught up with the chat a little bit. You know, we could dive back into the film. You know.
Yes. So after the Emperor, he basically outsmarted the Jinn, and he got the Jinn to go into the opal, which is the same color as Zena's background right now. So it looks like she's in the opal. And we're going into present day now, where we have Raymond Beaumont. He's the supervisor of, it looks like a construction site where they're lowering a statue. And it's a statue of Mazda. Uhura, excuse me, Mazda. So they're lowering the statue, and one of the workers is drunk. He's a crane operator, and he's drinking on the job. Why? I don't know. And he ends up dropping the statue and killing one of his coworkers.
Yeah.
Killed them instantly.
Yep.
And the box drops, and it killed someone, and it broke, and the opal falls out. One of the workers see the opal, and he steals it and later pawns it.
Mhm.
So how did you feel about that scene?
I love it, because once again, it's not as chaotic as the opening scene, but it was still, I love the fact that it just switched on to modern day, and just seeing, Ted get like completely crushed. I mean, it's horrible, but it was entertaining to watch, And with the guy who's drinking on the job, I'm just so surprised that no one seen him beforehand. Like, he was just doing it right out in the open, just pouring some of his stuff into like a coffee cup. And it's like, come on, nobody sees him.
And you're in a crane operator. His name was Mickey. No one saw him, but all those men were out there. And then the supervisor was out there. How did you not see it?
Right.
It was the reaction to the death for me, that it was just like, y'all didn't give a damn. Like, y'all was more concerned that y'all had to clean that wood up, that more. So it was like, this is not a reaction of people that just witnessed one of their coworkers, just getting crushed, like, oh, Dale didn't come home today. He got crushed by,
Ooh.
Like it happened before, like yesterday or something.
Yeah.
And later on, after the worker pockets the opal and he takes it to a pawn shop and pawns it, it made its way to gemologist Alexandra. So once it made its way to Alexandra, she was examining it, saw something. It was like, oh, there's something wrong with this thing. I'm seeing something's moving in here, and it's highly unusual. So she passes it off to her friend Josh, her special friend. and Josh, like the had got that, and wants to let her know, and she's like, just do this. I mean, not like that, but just like, I'm cool. I'm cool for now, So because they're friends, he decides to examine the gem himself. Yes. And what happens?
He releases the Jinn, and he destroys the whole lab, and the Jinn comes out gooey and slimy and ugly looking, crawling towards him.
Like, what was it about that trend of like that era of movies? Like, no matter what the budget was, it was just like slimy baby creature things, just like climbing and just talking. Like,
it did look like a baby, slimy baby things.
It's like that is a subgenre of films, just slimy, creepy baby things.
I think so. Like, I saw a lot of it in the 80s, and then it kind of made its way to the early 90s. But I think that was like their definition of scary. Like, it has to be disgusting. You have to be like, ugh, it got to be slimy. It got to be nasty. It got to be dirty. Like, it was definitely a trend.
Yeah. But the prosthetics, were on point.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, Greg Nicotero, he was one of the people who worked on it. I always just check to see what he works on and stuff like that. Love him a lot.
A legend in the game. Also had was that Tom Savini on the set. I don't know if did he do anything at all on the set?
I don't know what he did, but he did make a didn't he make an appearance? Like he was at the pharmacy, which I cannot wait for us to talk about that pharmacy
Oh yeah.
scene. That's the best scene to me. But yeah, I think that he makes like a cameo. I don't know if he did any makeup though.
Yeah. He's I would love to go to his school. If I had the money, I would love to go to his school. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm bad at art, but I'd just be there just to be there. I'd be like, I made this. I bring it home to you. I made this. You know?
Oh, absolutely. I would love it. We actually decided to do a soundbite. If I hear the word "aw," I'm supposed to say "fuck that." This is horror.
Okay.
It was impromptu at BlurCon. He had the camera turned towards the audience. Like that was the video he uploaded on Instagram where he's like, "Yeah, black ass decisions," and then we were just happy that we completed the panel, and I was like, "What a relief!" And then I kissed him. The audience behind us was like, "Aw," and I turned like, "Fuck that! This is horror," and they started laughing. So I'm gonna say that from now on.
But it's horror love.
Listen, we gotta represent. We gotta let them know. You know, especially in love with horror. You know, in the house representing. Too,
Hallelujah.
Letting them know. You know? So yes, Jazz. Thank you for being in the building.
Absolutely.
Supporting, you know.
So now, after the entire laboratory exploded and the gen was released, and he got Josh to make a wish, and Josh he didn't want to be in pain anymore. So it essentially led to his death. He killed him. He's like, all right, you're not in pain anymore, and killed him. So then we move on, and Alexandra finds out that Josh is dead.
Yeah.
Which is a low blow for her. She feels guilty, and she starts thinking about like, oh, like I gave this gem to him to examine, and it exploded, and it killed him. And it's possible in that moment that she regretted not taking a chance on, dating him.
Yeah.
So what did y'all think about that?
I felt bad for her, because she wanted to go out for hot dogs and a ball game instead of a romantic dinner and a movie like he suggested. So I knew that she was holding on to that. And then again, just the fact that could have been her. So a lot of guilt.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a lot of guilt felt, especially back then. It's like, I feel like, even with all the things that women deal with in, dating and relationships and, friends and friend zoning people, you get a little bit more leeway nowadays because things are a little bit more explained and fleshed out versus back then where it was like, come on. I'm here. Come on. So it's like
so
yeah.
I'm here too.
It's like, I'm a good guy. Come on. I've got a suit. I've got a tennis racket.
Be a good guy for somebody else.
Maria,
get over here.
Get over here.
No, you come over here. That's from Hey Arnold,
Hey
y'all.
Arnold. Wait, before we move on, I have to ask, what is like your favorite like quotable Hey Arnold scene?
I have so many. But probably that. Because we do that all the time. Like he'll go, Marie, get over here.
Yeah.
He do that all the time. And I'll be like, no, you come over here. Oh, forget you, Marie. No, forget you. You know what? I randomly say
Oscar was the worst.
He was a Dusty, okay? Like
he was a Dusty. His poor wife, she should have divorced him and ran for her life. Like, oh my gosh.
You take the money.
I think Hey Arnold has so many classic moments.
I hate the snow.
Yes.
Man, I really hate the snow.
Or Stu kid won't get off his stoop.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Stoop kid's afraid to leave the stoop.
And the tearjerker, pigeon man,
Oh,
Oh,
Pigeon
did
Man.
he commit suicide or what? Because that is the question.
I just hope that he just went to a better place. You know?
The pigeons can't hold that man up, and he just kind of
Yeah.
did he jump?
I thought he did.
Mm, Listen,
Hey Arnold is darker than we thought.
Hmm.
it
Like,
was.
what makes me sad now as an adult is Helga's home life. It's like her mom, I think
Yes.
her mom was an alcoholic with those smoothies. There was something in those smoothies. Remember how she was always calling Lila, what was it, Lolly or something? Like she got her name wrong. And then her dad really didn't care. They only cared about Olga. Like just her life made me sad, you know?
Yeah, and she had a erotomania. It's something they never wrote that, but I
Hmm.
know that's what that is
Mm.
because in her mind, she believed that she belonged with Arnold and even made a shrine of him in her closet. And maybe that has something to do with like her detachment issues from her parents. Her mom definitely probably was an alcoholic and mixing pills, and her dad was absolutely neglectful. He only cared about being the beeper king. And
Hmm.
both parents really praised the golden child, which was what was her name?
Olga.
Olga. They
Yeah.
only which she got one B and was
Yeah.
in bed
Like,
listening to that
girl.
classical song like for a week. Like I'm like, oh my God. Like she's annoying.
Listen, they
But
have.
oh no, go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm sorry. What were we gonna say?
I was just gonna say I always love the episode where Curly snapped and he just like what
Yes.
he did to Eugene over a pencil. Like
Sharpening, sharpening,
but he did ruin his pencil though. But it was like this small. What is he supposed to do with that?
sharpening.
That was crazy to me. And then remember there was some episode where he freed all the wild animals at the zoo and he was riding
Yes.
on a giraffe. Like poor kid. Like
Curly is a cult leader in the making. He
Listen.
was he was insane. Not to mention that horror episode they did with
The
the
train.
haunted train
Oh
station.
yeah.
oh
I
yeah,
watch it every year.
it's so good.
Hmm. But
So,
we went on a Hey Arnold
so
We
tangent.
did. We did. I love it.
so many life lessons from Hey
Yeah.
Arnold.
Absolutely. I learned to act crazy if someone wanted to fight me.
Yes, yes, yes. I practice in the mirror. My crazy dance.
Oh boy.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's worked so far.
So let's talk about the pharmacy scene. Zena, if you want to tell us what happened in the pharmacy
Okay.
scene.
So there's this homeless man who is he's outside and there's this girl who's walking and he's like, hey, do you have $1? And the girl's like, no, I don't. And he's like, well, I'll take $5. And he's still talking and she's just trying to like, no. And she goes inside and he's like, okay, well, I'll just wait outside. And he takes his whole body and presses it up against the glass, like face all smushed in. And then Reggie Bannister, who's in Phantasm, he owns the pharmacy. So he comes out there and basically tell him to get out of there. So then they go back and forth. And how they go back and forth really makes me laugh. But it's just like, first off, the woman said no. But he was like, okay, I'm still gonna wait for you. And I don't know why, but whenever I see his face, it brings me so much joy because he was so happy, just waiting, just harassing people. And I think he even calls Reggie like a bald eagle or something crazy, it's just like a lot of fun. Like I was hoping that he would have more of a bigger role, but yeah, that's pretty much what happened before the Jinn shows up and grants the homeless man his wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a terrible wish. He wanted he wanted the pharmacist to get cancer and die.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, I don't like you. I'm like, can you see? Like, I know just because you down on your luck or whatever doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily mean you visually impaired. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but if it's somebody in a damn trench coat and all this stuff, and they got stuff coming out of they like, can you see? Like,
Mhm. In a darkened, smelly alleyway, just hanging out there in the night. Okay.
Yeah. So the Jinn is now granting wishes for other all these other people, these strangers, acquaintances of Alex or friends, whoever it is, he's granting wishes for them because he's out and about and he found a body and took human form so that people wouldn't run away and be afraid of him as he's granting people's wishes. But during this time, he's mentally torturing Alex because because he wants to get her to make her wishes so he can keep using his powers and torture people. And like I said, the third wish, he releases legions on the earth, which is what he wants. That's his main goal.
Yeah.
So he's like, Alexandra, Alexandra. And she hears it and it brings her, it looks like she's in pain. She kind of looks like how I feel when I'm having a migraine. She's like, oh, like it kind of looks like that. So he's granting all these wishes to these people. Also, the woman that was in the department store who wished to be beautiful forever. I felt like I saw that in a Tales from the Crypt episode somewhere or something. Like, I feel like, or was it Twilight Zone? Did someone turn into a statue? Someone?
Yeah, it was
It was Twilight Zone. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was other things too, but definitely Twilight Zone.
It happened on a Twilight Zone. It was like a woman who wanted to be beautiful or something like that, and she was a statue or a doll or a mannequin.
She didn't know she was a mannequin.
Yeah, like, she didn't know she was.
The rest of the fools was like, hey, like how, like remember who you are, and she was like, oh yeah, I am a mannequin. Like that's
yeah, it was a really good episode.
I'll have to see that.
Yes, and that woman, I actually recognized her from a movie I wasn't supposed to be watching when I was little called Twa, and Shaza Zulu was in there with Kenya Moore. She was.
That's a naughty movie.
I recognized her from there. I was like, oh, I know you, but I couldn't say out loud from where. And but she was the one who wanted to be beautiful forever. And oh Lord, my brother's in here.
Yeah, talk more about that movie.
No. But so anyway, so she became a mannequin, and who knew that he was going to turn her into a mannequin? Like she just wanted to remain beautiful forever. And she was kind of flirting with him, like, "Ooh, look at your suit," and thought
her little hips.
Yeah, she thought she was going to get sprinkle. And she ended up getting, statue. Like that's it. So, moving on, we have Alex. Finally meets up with was she a professor or a teacher?
Professor.
The professor, yeah. And she breaks down what a djinn actually is. And at first, Alex was skeptical. And she was like, oh, like a genie, because she's thinking what we're all thinking, like Aladdin. Right. But the professor explains, like, no, this is not what you think. This is not a magical, this is a demonic creature. Pretty much. This creature was created, she said, after the angels, but before humankind. And she explains what jinns, what their purpose is, and it's all evil.
Don't you just love a good professor? That
just
knows on the side. They be teaching, they a whole scholar, but on the side they be into some like occult shit, and they just know it all.
And I love that she was in this movie, because you know how like sometimes like with those particular characters where they're telling you, the character as well as the viewers what they need to know. I still feel like it fits. You know what I mean? It's not like out of place. Like, oh, we forgot to add this in, so let's just put that in there.
Yes. I agree. It definitely it gave a little bit of oomph, to it, So,
and I love a good history lesson.
Yeah.
Listen, my favorite part of sidebar, my favorite part of Oculus was not the killing. It was when the kids was breaking down the history. I was like, or even 1408 when Samuel L. is breaking down the history of the damn room. I'm like, oh, give me a history lesson with some spooky ass music behind it.
Because oftentimes history lessons are also warnings.
Facts. facts. You
Very
know,
true.
facts. We gonna go to the chat real
Yeah.
quick, catch up with the chat, see what's going on. Y'all gotta bring back Black Ass Decisions. Listen, it's coming. It's coming. You know, we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out. We gonna definitely bring it to the people. Nah, she made the right call. If he getting handled by gens like that, he wasn't going to be able to help her. Yeah, you know, it's a thing. You know, some everybody is gonna, you know, deal with situations differently. Now I want to watch Hey Arnold.
Me too.
I think that's how we all feel. I think that's you know. Yes, I remember Helga having a Colt football shaped Arnold statue behind
But
her
you know,
closet.
you know something. I don't really think that that's not. Please don't think I'm weird. I don't really think that that was that bad. I mean, when I was dating my husband, I kind of had like a little shrine for him, you know. And then we got married. I still kind of have one, so it's not in my closet, but it was before. It was like in a drawer, like, you know.
Listen,
but you're not wearing a cape and then
True.
the smoke
That was-
signal. She had a whole like she was
That's
bowing to
insane.
the
True.
like he was a god. And it was made of the gum he chewed.
Ew. Yeah.
She
I bet it
collected it
smelled
over the
weird.
years.
listen, I feel like we've all been, before we knew what creepy was, we've all looked back and been like, damn, that was me.
Yeah.
we were there.
Yeah, it makes me think about you. I mean, mine is like the murder and stuff, you know,
Yeah.
but why not just check someone out on social media before you pursue them? You know, you want to know who they are, who their friends are, their family and friends, and where they like to go and hang out and where they work. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you know, just the credit score and all that jazz, you know, just their playlists, you know, on Spotify.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
You know, you know what? Man. Paul draws. Don't worry, guys. The bird guy is still alive in Hey Arnold Jungle movie.
Yay!
Oh, good.
Okay.
Good.
You know, Miss KB, thank you for stopping by.
Hey, Miss KB. How you doing?
Showing some love, you know. Boosie Burt, you know, Jennifer Jason Lee played a character in Tales from the Crypt. She played with her life and turned into a statue. Yes, because of the evil saleswoman.
So it was both. It was Tales from the Crypt and Twilight Zone.
Okay. You know, we got a DJ Sega, you know, the Black Knight, aka, you know, my brother and my future brother-in-law in the building.
My brother.
You know. Sega.
Hey, Robert.
We got Trey Reed, you know.
Hello.
That's another sister. Hello.
Hey,
listen,
family in the building.
Listen, I love it whenever families show up because you know, sometimes they be like, oh, you know, little spooky stuff, you know, keep it over there. But when they show up, it's like, oh yeah, it's love. It's love.
But now I feel bad for bringing up what I brought up.
Nah, don't.
With Shaza.
Listen, everybody, you know, everybody is adults.
We grown.
Yeah, we're grown.
Okay. I just feel, you know, I came from a Catholic school, so it's like, you know.
Exactly. And you came from a Catholic school, so
shut up.
We got Kazam lore says a jinn is just a genie that does what he wants. I like the Wishmaster lore though, because it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That is the truth,
you know. But yes, we could move on, you know, with the
yes. So as the jinn is causing chaos and grant more wishes, he is running into even more people. And one of my favorite scenes, Alex is looking for her sister Shannon. Shannon already goes to the party. And so Alex goes to follow Shannon to the party to look for her because she feels like she's not going to be safe with this jinn running around. Oh, wait, but before that, the jinn decided to take the form of the professor to get her to make wishes. He was unsuccessful, but we find that he killed the professor, and it was a bloody scene. He killed her. That
Yeah.
was jacked up. So, but after that, she runs out, run home, and she's looking for her sister. Shannon goes to the party. She's like, "Oh, okay." Well, she didn't say that, but she's going to find her sister at this party, and we get to the doorman, and
Oh,
I saw your face.
Cause yeah, the doorman, but I'll let y'all, I'll let our guest of honor speak on the
Zena,
doorman.
who was the doorman?
Tony Todd playing
Ooh!
Johnny Valentine. Oh, excuse me, Valentine. Johnny Valentine. That's his name.
Okay.
He
He
was
was at
so sick and tired of him. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, he was just sick and tired of him. He was fed up. He was the doorman. It was his job to keep people, I'm cleaning it up, unwanted people, out. I know I just said we're grown, but then my mom's in here and I'm saying unwanted people, unwanted people, out of the party. And yeah, I believed in him at first. I thought, yeah, he'll be able to handle him. But no, he wasn't able to.
Yeah, Candyman couldn't keep him out.
Listen, it was it was a marvel, something to look at, because the guy who's playing, the Jin in general, like, I think he did a hell of a job, and he's got a great voice too. But
Yeah.
to see his voice matched up against Tony Todd's voice, it was just like, it was just it was a nice combination. It was a nice combination.
Yes, and the Jin proceeded to persuade uh Jay Valentine. What was it? That's his name?
Johnny Valentine.
Johnny
Really cool.
Valentine. Okay. And he persuades him to make a wish, even though he was doing pretty good at first. He was resistant. He's like, "Hey, like, get out of here," because he
Yeah.
tried to follow Alex into the party. And but then he folded. He was like, "Don't you want to, like, do more than this? Don't you want to escape?" And I'm like, "Oh no, this is gonna be bad." And then he said yes. Oh,
Mm.
and next thing you know, he puts him into a magician's box full of water. Like, it looked like something out of Blank Man. And he's like drowning, and he can't get out. And he's like, "Now you can, try to escape." I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna drown on the job?"
On the clock?
Yeah. I felt so bad for him. It was such a struggle. Like, his lips were all pressed up against the glass. He was trying to scream. And yeah, he was done for. I don't know how he was going to escape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we since the Jin did that to the doorman, to Johnny Valentine, he gets into the party, and it's a parallel story, because this movie started off, it looked like it was a party, and it ended up being total chaos. So you already know what it was hitting for, with, like, Jin's love to party. He's like, "Oh, it's as many people in the room as possible, so he can grant as many wishes as he can, and just cause, like, way more torture, way more chaos, all at once, very, very fast." So he's the life of the party, pretty much. So Alex finds Shannon, but it's too late. The Jin is there talking to who?
Was it Bowman?
AKA Freddy
Robert
Cougar.
Englund. Or Freddy Krueger. Yeah.
Legend.
Iconic.
Mhm.
So he speaks about Robert Englund's character is Raymond Beaumont is speaking about how just mumbo jumbo to the Jin, and the Jin, he manipulates him. He brings up how he was at this party that was talked about for centuries, and it's like he
Mm.
didn't question that you ain't that old. You're not
Yeah.
that old. How do you know about a party that was talked about for centuries?
Right.
Beaumont immediately was like, "Oh, I would love to, have something like that, like throw a party where people could talk about for centuries." And I'm watching the movie going, "Why would you say that?" And he granted his wish, and it was lit from there. What happened?
Hair.
Well, first, but before that, like, I don't know if it happened before or after, but remember there was a woman, she was said something about, oh, you can see right through me, or something about seeing right through her, and she turned into
Yeah.
like a glass thing. And like the special effects, it's the late 90s, so it's not that great. So then she shatters and there's like this glass flying everywhere. It like slices off a part of this guy's whole face.
Yeah.
Somebody somehow, I think, what did they have like I don't want to say it's a mop, but they had like a stick in their face somehow. It was just, once again, kind of like how the movie started, chaotic.
Listen, I think it was a top tier bloodbath. Like I really enjoy when it's just so much going on the screen, and those scenes, specifically when it's dealing with jinn or genies, where it's like people get their instant consequence, like instant consequence. We see it one after another, after another, another. Which made me think. Which comes to my next question for you both. If there was a genie, of course not someone like this genie, but this genie is nice looking, his clothes is ironed, this this genie smells like what's a good
Vanilla.
Vanilla, this genie smell. He got his Nella on, he got his shades on, hair twisted up, like if this genie asks you a question, like if you could, he would grant you one wish, what wish would that?
One wish.
Oh.
Yes. One wish, one wish, one wish.
It's like this is a musical.
One wish, Zena. I don't know.
See, okay, but the thing is, something we've learned from horror movies.
Yes.
Your wishes are never actually what you wish for. Even when I think about it, I meant to mention this earlier. I don't know if he was a genie. I don't really remember, but there was this movie I used to watch a lot as a kid. Martin Short is in it. It's called A Simple Wish. The girl from Matilda's in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, okay, even with his wishes, he wasn't evil. He was just a little doofy, but it was just kind of like he could not like get the wishes straight. So I just feel like you'll just be better off just like not saying anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Sorry.
So you wouldn't say anything?
I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I'm gonna like cause harm to people. Like I can't trust anyone that's gonna grant my wishes. Like, how do I trust like you're not gonna kill anyone? And I can't have that on my conscience.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but if it wasn't evil, I think would be a really cool wish, either, being able to buy whatever you want. Like, so you'll always have enough money in your pocket, your wallet, your purse, whatever.
Okay.
Or, I don't know. At first I was going to say, I want to be able to fly, but no, I feel like the government will get me. So instead, just, free clothes and accessories and shoes and trips for life. That could be a good time.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking about perfect lighting, like all the time. Like if I'm taking a photo, I'm on camera, perfect lighting, and on the other side, no copays at all. Like my copays will be taken care of, because these copays are ridiculous.
Crazy.
I need a genie. I need a real life genie.
All right. I came up with something, but it's still not y'all's is practical. Mine's is not. The only thing I could think of is like I'm forever a secret sorcerer. Like no one knows, like no one can ever know, or like they die or something. Like just no one can ever know. But I'm just like Matilda on the low, or Harry Potter. I can move things. I can, use my powers.
Concerned.
Okay, right. So
that's why I want to say nothing.
Would you tell your boo thing?
No.
No, she couldn't.
You sure you were able to
Mm-mm.
do? What was that movie? There was that movie. Was it the Tales from the Dark Side movie? Was it or no? Remember that movie? Oh my gosh, now I'm going blank. There's that movie where this woman, she's not really a woman, and she's not like this guy was drawing like these creatures and stuff like. Yeah, thank you. Someone said it. It popped up on the thing.
Yeah.
Tales from the
So
Dark.
yeah, so it's just like with that, she was not allowed to say, well, not her, the guy was not allowed to say what he saw, right? And so he was drawing all these things. And the same night that he saw some creature of the night, he meets this beautiful woman. And then years down the line, they have kids together. They're so in love and they live in a beautiful loft apartment. That apartment is gorgeous. We don't talk about loft apartments enough. But anyway, and then one day he tells her, and she's so disappointed, and her voice, oh my God, I'm spoiling it. But I think you should check it out.
Listen. If you
I
have
want to
not
check it
seen
out.
that damn movie yet, go and watch that movie. Go watch the show. I got it. We
Yes.
got it on damn DVD. Go watch the show. You know.
Yes.
But
But it would have to be on the low. I can't tell. I would not want to tell anybody. I just feel like if anybody knew, they would want to take advantage. We would have a falling out. It would be a thing because I have boundaries. I'm going to say no,
Mhm.
especially if I don't agree. So I wouldn't want to tell anybody.
hell yeah, because I ain't paying rent if you a sorcerer.
Well, that like stuff like that, I'll make stuff like that go away on the low. Like I'll have an excuse every single time. Like, oh, it just,
Oh man. You're a vault. That's cool. I would not been able to keep my mouth shut. I would be telling everybody. But yeah.
Oh,
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah.
So we gonna go to the chat a little bit. We got
My brother.
Sega, mass deaths in horror movies are pretty cool. Ghost Ship's opening scene is all I need out the entire movie.
Mhm.
Yes, I agree.
And all I liked.
And LR Hall got to hit the hey. Thanks for
Yeah.
stopping
Good
by, showing some
night.
love. Barbara, thanks for
Good
stopping by.
night.
Got Kira, thanks for
Hey,
stopping
Kira.
in. Kira, double feature pod in the building. If you were to trust a genie, only wish for small things. Silence is golden. However, okay.
I can't wish for anything small. Like that's the thing. Like I feel like I wasted a wish if I don't have powers.
There was this movie I saw. It was like this Christmas movie. I don't remember the name. It came out like last year. But this this guy, he had like all like these wishes. He had 3 wishes, and he wasted one of his wishes, I think, on a grilled cheese sandwich for his daughter. So I mean, I don't think he seemed very happy and pleased in life, and his daughter ate the sandwich. I guess it was good,
That's wild.
That
could be
You
good.
better enjoy that grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, I think it'd be lovely.
But shit, knowing me, I'm lactose intolerant. That might mess me up on the low.
You can take those lactate pills I talked to you about.
Yes.
That's the wish. It's a dairy-free grilled cheese sandwich.
Listen.
And it'd be delicious.
Listen, if my wish was just like I'm not going to get an adverse reaction to anything, that would be like one of the ultimate.
Oh, that'd be a good. See, that's a good one. I wish I could think like y'all. Like, what was my initial idea for a wish? So in Stevie Universe, he's able to jump in and out of his mother's world and into the real world. I wish I could do that. Like, like jump in and out. Like I could bring maybe a void, kind of like the void from The Good Place. Like, but it's decorated and it's styled out. Like your question when you interview people is like, if in the metaverse, if you could decorate, I wish that was real, but not on some what made dreams come stuff. Like I don't want to die to be able to see it. Like I want to be able to jump in and out. And then when you come to me, be like, oh, did you see what happened on CNN? I'm like, I'm jumping out. Like I don't let me go back to my void and just be in here like with food that is not recalled and with fresh water and all those things. Basically my own world.
Yeah, because they were calling everything out.
Yeah, I could bring anybody I want in there and kick anybody out.
I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Kira with the recommendation. Watch 3,000 Years of Longing. If you
I heard of
haven't.
that.
Yeah,
Idris plays a genie in this film. Okay,
I add that
okay.
to my list.
Me
Yes,
too.
yes. And
Someone else mentioned it earlier as well.
Mhm.
yes. And Sheree says, y'all are nicer than me. I would fuck around and accidentally get people out of here while wishing for pad thai.
So that sounds a lot like Thanos, like
Yeah,
Sheree. Like
yeah.
you snap and half the population just.
Sheree knows. Listen, listen. That's
Sheree knows.
She's offered 3 wishes in exchange for his freedom. Yes, yes. You know, and Tales from the Dark Side. Yes, thanks for
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mentioning that.
thank you.
The gargoyle scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Jazz. Ooh, this is a story that
It
happens
does.
often.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. You, Michael. Thanks for stopping
Hey,
by.
Michael.
You promised
yeah.
you wouldn't
Michael
tell.
with that line, I could hear her saying that in my head.
Listen, when we were casting earlier, to be honest, if this is voiceover, Michael could play. Michael
The
could
Jin.
definitely play the Jin.
He
Yeah,
could.
Yes, Michael.
He would be
has-
hilarious too, without trying. But he would be
wow.
hilarious.
He's got the voice.
He does.
He's got the voice. You know, it's on Quaden.
Tales from the Dark Side.
Yes, yes. It's told across cultures. Yes, yes. Okay, we getting some knowledge tonight. You know,
Yes.
Ray Don Chong played the
Incredible.
wife in Tales from the Crypt. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Love.
Tales from the Dark Side.
Tales from the Dark Side. Yeah, there we go. Tales from. Thank you. Sheree says what kind of bread and cheese because I might understand.
It just looked like regular old like white bread, and then like the regular just yellow American cheese. It wasn't anything fancy, no butter, just on a plate, not even cut in half for her. So
Oh.
Okay, nothing fancy, nothing fancy. You know, it's a bad miracle if it makes you sick, and that's a new Monkey Paw film.
So still winning.
All right, all right. You know,
Well, we get to the end here with well, before we get to the end, I will share one of my favorite scenes because it kind of reminds me of Scooby-Doo. It always scares me when Alex have to go down that hallway and it's all those statues, like, and you don't know what's going to come alive, what's going to hit her.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm afraid of that. I'm so afraid of, like, that was one of my nightmares, being locked in the museum, waking up, and then I don't like Night in the Museum because, like, I feel like that'd be a horror film. Like they would come alive and just kill me, like, or try to kill me. I'm running through the Franklin Institute, and then these statues and the heart is going to try to fall on me. Like, I'm afraid of that. Like, because I love the Franklin Institute. I love museums, or paintings. People come out of Jack the Ripper came out of the painting.
Yeah, that was insane.
Like, they never caught Jack the Ripper, but you coming out of a painting.
listen, that was the. I mean, it's always a vibe when you have someone coming out of a painting or a movie screen. You know, shout out to the Last Action Hero. You know, Jack.
Yes, but essentially, Alex have outsmarted the Jinn. He cornered her and tried to force her to make her final wish. Before that, she wanted to know what he was, and she ended up in that gym, and she had to run for her life.
Yes.
And with that dog thing chasing her. Yeah, and she used her second wish to go back home without him. And so she was down to her last wish, and he was trying to manipulate her into making her last wish. And she did the smart thing, because I immediately, as a kid, was like, wish for things to go back to the way things were. Like,
Right.
And she was like, oh, I wish that Mickey wasn't drinking on the job 2 days ago. And he's like, no, like Jafar when he went into that lamp.
Yeah. Yeah, he went. I was going to call it a pebble. He went back into his pebble, but clearly it's not a pebble. But yeah.
Yeah. So what did y'all think about that ending?
I liked it. I liked the fact that she outsmarted him, you know, because I remember seeing it as a kid as well. And I was thinking the same thing, like, okay, is she going to wish that I wish I'd never came across it? But you have to be detailed without being too detailed. So that was like a perfect, like, kind of like wrap up. So everything just automatically went back to the way things were. And I did love his dramatic, like, scream, you know, because he lost.
Yes. Listen, I always love like a good comeback. But I feel like honestly in that situation, I would have been one of the ones frozen in stone or whatever, because it's like just being quick-witted and snappy with it and being like, okay, I gotta outsmart this motherfucker and I gotta come at it from a certain angle, because
Right.
if I come at it wrong, I'm liable to be turned into a bunch of worms or something like that. So I think I think it was a nice way to wrap it up, because at a certain point I was like, well, damn, how is she gonna get out of this situation?
Yeah.
Because like I said, I feel like I would have been toast. I would have been toast.
Yeah, one of the many morals of that story was, well, one of them was time repeats itself, because that's the same thing the emperor did, the Persian emperor in
Yeah.
1127.
Mhm.
He got the jinn to go into that gem, and they made sure the third wish wasn't made where the legions can be unleashed on earth.
Right.
They made sure that didn't happen. And she got her friend back. Everybody whose soul was taken by him got released back to earth. The homeless man, the lady from the department store, the pharmacist, all of them, all of their souls got released back, and she got Josh back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She got another chance with him.
Yes, no more hot dogs for her. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So what is y'all rating overall, for the film? How many lamps, out of
Lamps. Well, he came out of a
well,
gym.
yeah, he came out of a gym, so how many genie gems,
He was a jinn.
oh damn, politically correct. Jinn. How many gin
Gems.
gems?
Say
How
that
many, yeah,
7 times
gems.
fast.
Uh
Well, let's
oh
let our
yes.
special guest
Yes.
Are we
rate.
gonna do out of 5?
Yeah, we're gonna do out of
Yes.
5.
Okay. Because I have a soft spot for this movie, but I know it's not perfect. I know it's a little bit dated. There's some cheese, you know. I'm still gonna give it though like a 3.5 out of 5.
That's a good one.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to give it a 4. It's the same for me, Zena. It was at a 3, but what pushed it to a 4 was the horror reunion that
Yeah.
we had in that. Like, I can pop that in and just be like, it's a dopamine release to see
Mhm.
Phantasm and Candyman and Freddy
Yeah.
Krueger.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
just
you're
like,
right. I should up my score too. You're right. You're right.
yeah, it's great.
Listen, I'm gonna give it a 4, a solid 4, only because I'm a sucker for great prosthetics, and I feel like this film, they stuck to it, and like, of course, some special effects were cheesy or whatever, but there's nothing that I feel like at the time of my life where I found out what fear was from a
Mhm.
film, it came from prosthetics, so I'm always going to be like a sucker for that, even if the film's not perfect.
Nice.
Also, I just remembered just now. I didn't bother to look it up or anything, but the actor who played the Jin, was he the bad guy from Low Down Dirty Shame?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that is
Mendoza.
him.
Yeah,
Mendoza.
Mendoza. I'm like,
He's
yeah.
so diverse with his stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow.
I just remembered that.
Yes, yes. We got Kira. She said she gave it a solid
That's a
3.
good one. That's a
Okay,
good one.
okay.
That's a good score.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And Paul Draw said, I've seen this time loop trope before as a wish goes all wrong, and I think the ending is the first trope.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But yes, that's been another episode of Evil Live, and we want to thank you, Zena,
Thank
for kicking it with us.
you.
Thank you
It's
both
been
so
a
much.
listen. You're the queen. It's always dope when we get to chop it up. We both love you, and it's
Yeah.
You know, it's just nice. It's just nice to you know, to talk with someone, especially when you respect their opinion on things, you know, even if it's not, you know, the same as yours, like, you know, you respect it, like especially on Letterbox, like we be, you know, checking out, you know, who's rating what, you know. So
Mhm.
we
Letterbox overwhelms me sometimes, especially when I have to like do like my updates. But no, thank you both so much. Like you guys are such a power couple. I had so much fun. I loved rewatching this. It gave me a reason to rewatch it. I started rewatching the sequel, and I think like as a kid, for some reason, that used to air on TV more, the sequel over the first one.
yeah. 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 I I
Yeah,
briefly
that was
glossed over the
insane.
sequel and I was like,
I told him not to.
wow, this
Yeah,
is
I want to say the scene, but I'm pretty sure we're probably talking about the same scene. I
yeah.
don't know. It makes me laugh now, but as a kid,
No,
seeing I just seen
no,
that
you
as
can
a
talk
kid.
about the scene.
No, you talk about the scene.
I'm not talking about it.
Listen, I feel like the sequels were very interesting. There's a even the direction they went with the prosthetics, you know,
Yeah.
with just like people on the, like they had like his entity on a wall and stuff like that. It was just like, whose direction was this? It was just
Mhm.
like very interesting, you know, like not saying that it was bad, but it was just like, this is very interesting, you know, like
Yeah.
was somebody you know, somebody doing LSD or something, you
I,
know.
I saw all four of them. It just kept getting worse. So when I say do not watch the rest of them, I mean it. The first one is the only one that matters.
Listen,
It does. It gets real Looney Tune, you know.
listen,
So
listen.
yes, we just want to thank you so much, Zena, and we want to thank everybody who joined in on the live tonight. And you gave us your ratings, some comments, and everybody was so funny, and we had so much fun tonight. And we really enjoyed this interview. So thank you for this review on Wishmaster. This is a classic.
Yes, yes. And do you have anything to plug before we out of here, Zena?
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah, you guys can follow me on Instagram if you want, Real Queen of Horror. On Twitter, Lovely Zena. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Real Queen of Horror. And yeah, listen to the Bloody Disgusting podcast. You could also catch me over on Bloody Disgusting's TikTok, just yelling into the camera, giving you horror news, recommendations, reviews, and some upcoming interviews.
All
Yes, yes,
right.
love it, and definitely make sure you subscribe to her YouTube because it's actually one of the first Black horror YouTubes that I came across, and
Mhm.
Oh,
like I wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be, you know, we wouldn't be
If
here
it
in this
wasn't for
capacity
you.
if it wasn't for, you know, seeing is believing, you know. So representation
I
definitely
was just going to
matters,
say that
you know.
representation matters.
So
now look at you.
yeah. Yes, represent,
With a do rag
represent.
on.
It's cute.
Thank you.
Listen. But yes, everybody, thank you for stopping by, including the family, you know, for stopping by and
Yeah.
supporting, you know.
Sisters and mom.
Yes. All of our friends in the horror community, thank you for stopping by. But yes, that's been another episode of Evil Live. And as always, peace, love, and
And
horror. And we
horror.
out of this thing. And we out of this